How rich is Elon Musk? Really? We all know he's one of the wealthiest people on the planet, but the sheer scale of his fortune is almost impossible to wrap your head around. Let's try to break it down. We're not just talking about a big bank account. We're talking about a complex web of assets, companies, and ambitious projects that are literally shaping our future. So, where does all this money come from? It's not just sitting in a vault like Scrooge. McDuck's the vast majority of Musk's wealth is tied up in the shares of his companies. The big one, of course, is Tesla. He owns a significant chunk of the electric car giant, and as Tesla's stock price soars, or dips, so does his net worth. A single tweet or a new product announcement can add or subtract billions from his fortune in a matter of hours. It's incredibly volatile. Then there's space. Unlike Tesla, SpaceX is a private company, which makes valuing it a bit trickier. But experts estimate it's worth well over $100 billion, and Musk is the largest shareholder. SpaceX isn't just launching satellites. It's revolutionizing the space industry with reusable rockets and has massive contracts with NASA. The Starlink satellite internet project alone could be a huge revenue generator in the future. And let's not forget his other ventures. He recently acquired Twitter, now known as X. In a massive deal, the Boring Company is digging tunnels under cities to solve traffic problems. Neuralink is developing brain-computer interfaces that sound like something straight out of science fiction. Each of these companies, while smaller than Tesla or SpaceX, adds another layer to his immense wealth and influence. Now, with great wealth comes great taxes, right? It's a bit complicated. Because most of his wealth is in stocks, he doesn't pay traditional income tax on it until he sells those shares. However, when he does sell, the tax bill is enormous. A few years ago, he sold a large block of Tesla stock, partly to cover one of the largest individual tax payments in U.S. history, estimated to be over $11 billion. So, yes, when he cashes in, he pays a massive amount in taxes. But how did this all start? It wasn't an overnight success. Musk's story begins in South Africa. He taught himself to code as a kid and sold his first video game at age 12. After moving to Canada and then the U.S., he attended the University of Pennsylvania. He briefly enrolled in a PhD program at Stanford but dropped out after just 2 days to jump into the dot-com boom. His first major success was a company called Zip2, which provided online city guides for newspapers. He and his brother Kimball started it with a small amount of money. Sleeping in the office and showering at the local YMCA, they sold Zip to 2 Compaq for over $300 million. Musk's share was about $22 million. Not bad for a first venture. He immediately reinvested almost all of it into his next big idea, an online financial services company called X.com. This eventually merged with a competitor to become PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion, Musk, as the largest shareholder, walked away with over $180 million after taxes. This was the seed money for everything that came next. Most people would have retired to a private island at that point, but Musk did the opposite. He risked everything, pouring his entire fortune into 2 wildly ambitious and seemingly impossible ventures: space to make humanity a multiplanetary species, and Tesla to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. For a while, it looked like a terrible bet. Both companies were on the brink of bankruptcy. He famously said he was down to his last few $1 million and had to borrow money for living expenses. But then, things started to turn around. A crucial NASA contract for SpaceX and the success of the Tesla Model S saved both companies and set them on the path to where they are today. Looking beyond the companies, what about his personal life? He has a large and growing family. He's been married multiple times and has several children. He has a brother, Kimball, who is also an entrepreneur focused on the food industry, and a sister, Tosca, who is a filmmaker and runs her own streaming service. It's clear that the entrepreneurial spirit runs deep in the Musk family. So, what does he spend his money on? He's famously frugal in some ways. He has claimed not to own a primary residence, preferring to stay with friends. He's not known for buying super yachts or collecting expensive art. His focus seems to be almost entirely on reinvesting his wealth back into his companies and his vision for the future. And what a future it is. The projects on the horizon are even more ambitious. SpaceX's ultimate goal is to establish a self-sustaining city on Mars. Starship, the massive, fully reusable rocket designed to get us there, is already in the testing phase. If successful, it could fundamentally change our relationship with space. Neuralink aims to solve a wide range of brain-related disorders and eventually merge human consciousness with artificial intelligence. The Boring Company wants to build a network of high-speed tunnels, called Loop and Hyperloop, That could make city-to-city travel faster than flying. And with X, he aims to create an everything app that combines social media, payments, and other services into a single platform. The scale of Elon Musk's wealth is staggering, but what's perhaps more interesting is how it's being used. It's not just sitting idle. It's actively funding some of the most audacious and technologically advanced projects in human history. Whether you see him as a visionary genius or a controversial figure, there is no denying that he is using his immense fortune to place some very big bets on the future of humanity. The story of his wealth is really the story of his ambition, and it's a story that is still being written. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of tech and finance. See you in the next video.